Yes, good evening. Well, this is Soni Irabor, and tonight we're having something really different because we are connected to New York City, United States of America, and we have a guest in the studio there with me in the studio here. And yes, in spite of the fact that it's 5 hours between us, we're going to have a good chat because Regina Askia Williams used to be an actress in Nollywood. She holds a degree in, what was that again? She'll tell us. And then she's biology, okay. And then she's now a trained nurse, family nurse. And of course, she's also dabbling into some kind of strange game. We'll talk about that in the course of the program. But I just wanted to welcome Regina Askia. Regina, how are you?
I'm good, and it's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for having me in your studio all the way from New York City. It's such a pleasure. Thank you.
You look good, by the way. Very good.
Oh, you are very kind, but I'll take it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, what are you doing in New York apart from being a good wife and a mother?
I am now a family nurse practitioner. Like you said, I was an actress in Nigeria, then I became a television producer, and then I went into the healthcare profession, became a staff nurse, now a family nurse practitioner, almost Dr. Regina Askia Williams.
Almost Dr. Regina Askia
Yes.
Williams.
Yes,
Explain
when I get
that.
some of my
So,
work published, I
okay.
will be a doctorate degree holder in nursing, and that gives me the accolade of Dr. Regina Askia Williams.
Oh.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's a good one because you're now saying Doctor of Letters, Doctor of Medicine, Doctor of Letters in three.
Doctor of Nursing.
Doctor of Nursing.
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to write books then, aren't you?
Yes, and be published.
Okay. Let's take you back in time from University of Lagos days to the moment. You've been a beauty queen.
That's been a long journey, and God has been merciful. Yes. My first degree was in biology in the University of Lagos, and at this point, let me give a shout out to all the great advocates who passed through that great institutions, at that great institution, and are now holding very powerful positions in the society. Great advocates.
Great.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Right.
Yeah, so after graduating from biology there, I went into television for a long time on Mega Fortunes and as an actress. We were those people that started out Nollywood. We were the early people of Nollywood. And today it's such a pleasure to see Nollywood has grown exponentially to become the third biggest film industry in the world. First there's Hollywood, then Bollywood, then Nollywood. And I hope that they'll continue to hold
Okay.
that position
Yeah.
by producing authentic stories, authentic films that tell our African stories the right way. And it will be a pleasure to see them grow. Just like African music has grown, I hope that Nollywood continues on this trend. And even though I am not really in the mainstream of production and acting in Nollywood, I find myself in the healthcare arena. And even when I'm in the healthcare arena, I need to be able to use the tools of reaching out to the public to educate people on how best to take care of their health. Because like you know, health is wealth, right?
Health is well. Yes, that's right.
So,
Okay.
so I have an online Saturday clinic where we talk about how to care for yourself, how to take care of your health in simple terms that everybody can understand, thereby making people informed participants in their own health care. Now, every doctor that we have interviewed on this program has told us that the simple silver bullet to good health care or to good health status is good nutrition. Healthy diet, good nutrition, and exercise, right?
Okay, now before
we
you
keep
go
talking
further,
about it.
yeah,
We keep talking about it. It's high time we did something about it.
I like that. That's where I wanted to take you from.
Born.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the Nigerian scenario is almost like that. There's hardly enough exercise done. There's hardly enough good nutrition undertaken.
Yes.
And
Yes.
health care. I don't know what to say about that, but there's a lot of question mark. You know why I say that? Because facilities are not really readily available, even though governments of different stages are doing their best to meet all that expectation. But
Yes.
using your US experience and maybe coming back to Nigeria, what do you think needs to be done?
The healthcare situation in Nigeria has so many problems. You know, it's multifactorial. The problems of the healthcare situation in Nigeria is multifactorial because first, you look at the environment of care. You don't have instruments, you don't have machines, you don't have good technology that the doctors and nurses can work with, right? And in the dearth of those things, what are you going to do with the patient? Are you going to divine? This is not divination, this is medical science. So you need instruments to be able to work with. That's one problem. Yeah. Secondly, how do people pay for healthcare? Because the doctors and nurses have to be paid, the medications have to be bought, the instruments have to be paid for. How do people pay for healthcare services? Is there like a national health insurance program that supports people? Are people able to get access to doctors and nurse services? Are people able to get access to medication? So access to healthcare becomes another very serious issue that the government has to step up to the plate for in caring for its citizens. Okay, and in my trip to Nigeria, I'm going to be visiting a co-hospital in Ikeja, Lagos, to see how the doctors and nurses interact with the patients, what kind of services they offer. Do they have adequate medications that are up to date? Do they have adequate technology that will help them cater for the patients? I am very excited to be making this trip to Eco Hospital, Lagos, and I will compare that with what obtains with us out here. Now, I have been taking several trips to Nigeria, teaching nurses like on nurse training programs and healthcare missions, and this will be in line with that as well. This is, side by side with our Superstars first ever celebrity cooking competition that is happening in Lekki area of Lagos at the Grand Atrium on the 6th of December 2019.
Okay, you started advertising there. I like that. Okay, let's get it there.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Fine, but still in medicine or on medicine. I think that when you look at what you described as nursing and family nursing, what's the difference?
Okay, so nursing, the staff nurse is able to receive a patient in the hospital, right? Do what she needs to do in terms of triaging, like take the vital signs, measure the blood pressure, the pain status, the symptoms of the disease, and then take care of them in the hospital. The family nurse practitioner is trained on a higher level than the staff nurse. The family nurse practitioner has got more training to help her manage patient caseload. So where I am right now, I am able to receive patients at the clinic, triage them, assess what their symptoms are, design a healthcare plan, diagnose what it is, design a healthcare plan, and put them on a treatment plan complete with prescription that will restore them to a functional health status. That is what I would do as a family nurse practitioner. Now, family nurse practitioners focus on chronic illnesses, lifestyle choice illnesses like blood pressure, high blood pressure, diabetes, managing your kidney situation, managing your liver situation, managing conditions that are chronic, like long-term conditions. When you come to us, like when you come to the family nurse practitioner, we assess you. If we see that you are in a grave situation, we will refer you to the hospitals. If your situation is not that dangerous and we can manage it, we manage you. We advise you on how to take your medications, signs and symptoms to watch out for, as side effects of these medications, how to care for yourself when you have that particular disease condition, and we stay on top of your medication and monitor that you're actually responding to treatment. This is what we do as family nurse practitioners. And I would like to see a situation whereby family nurse practitioners are able to render their services to the Nigerian populace. How are we going to do that? Now,
before you answer that question, we're going to take a short break. And then we'll ask you again how we're going to do that, because Nigeria needs it, right? Okay, we'll be right back after a short break.
I want to see a Nigeria that works. I want to see a Nigeria that whenever I leave this country, that I'll be proud of that passport.
Lagos is a proof that Nigeria can work.
Accountability is not part of our system because nobody has demanded it. And until you demand something, it won't be given.
When young people leave the shores of this country and they go overseas, they spread their wings, they excel. So there must be something fundamentally wrong with our space. Yeah. It's been taken over by demonic, evil people.
There's no way anyone can go overseas and see how things work and then come back on that plane. And as you are landing in Lagos or in Abuja or wherever, no, we have to be real. Yeah. As you land, you go, okay, welcome home. We love our country. There's no doubt about it. But you land and you know, here we go.
It pays the strong political actors to have weak institutions.
You see, it is the politics of the pay pocket, where they deliberately emasculate our people financially, economically, where you have young men whose take-home pay can't take them home.
Yes, Soni Irabor live featuring Regina Askia Williams, and she's right there in New York. We're in Lagos. We're having a good tete-a-tete. Now I know that Regina is almost doctorate degree holder, yeah? Regina?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now tell me, seriously.
Yes.
You said something about family nurse coming to Nigeria to
Yes.
establish something
Yes.
that will make Nigerians a bit more
accessible, make healthcare a little more accessible to Nigerians.
Okay.
Now, you see, a lot of Nigerians have cell phones, right? Now, there's something going on now that's called telehealth. I'm working with a few doctors out here to make telehealth available to Nigerians, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look on your cell phone and log into that app, you'll be able to connect with a nurse or doctor, a family nurse practitioner or doctor out here who can help you manage your healthcare situation if that is what you choose to do, okay? We have to find a good cell phone data management company to float this, cognizant of the fact that they have to make HIPAA laws, like patient information protection laws, workable in their data management process in that telehealth setup. Okay, now what is telehealth? Telehealth is a situation whereby with the use of software and a camera, we're able to look at a patient, talk with them about their symptoms, observe their heart rhythms, their blood pressure, and everything that we can deduce from the software, and diagnose a condition, put them on a treatment plan, and restore them to functional health status. This is what we can do with telehealth, and this will go a long way in establishing, enabling a lot of Nigerians be able to have access to healthcare services by doctors and nurses. And thanks to technology, expertise does not need to stop here. American trained or German trained or London trained doctors and nurses could all use these telehealth services and offer their services to the Nigerian populace. And I think that hospitals who jump on that bandwagon first will be able to establish a presence in that niche.
Okay.
It's something that should really be encouraged and considered.
Right.
Yes.
Now, when I look at that, it appears there's hope for every Nigerian. And
There is hope.
How many of your types in Nigeria or in the US that are Nigerians?
How many what?
How many of you are Nigerians practicing in the US and hopefully coming to Nigeria to practice?
I cannot give you the exact numbers, but what I can tell you is that Nigerians make up most, like maybe we could say about half of the top creme de la creme of the healthcare professional workforce in the United States. Nigerians are known to be very good doctors, very good nurses, and their services would be very valuable, when offered to Nigerians at home who need it the most, right?
Okay.
They come out here and they become geniuses. They are known for miracles, medical miracles, and then the Nigerians from, at home where we came from, they don't get to benefit from this expertise. It's high time we share the love.
You don't want to come back to Nigeria?
Yes, we will come back. But consider also that the environment of practice has to enable a good practice, right? If you have a situation where there's no light, how are you going to power your cell phone? How are you going to reach anybody? If you have a situation where you're doing surgery and there's no power in the hospitals, how are you going to get that done? So as much as possible, we encourage the Nigerian government to step up and take care of its citizens by providing these basic things that a government should give to its citizens. For example, good health care. Everybody deserves good health care. In today's world, nobody should be dying from asthma. Nobody should be having complications of high blood pressure. Nobody. It's such a crying shame that so many Nigerians are still having kidney issues because they have had uncontrolled high blood pressure for so long. So many are still dying of asthma. So many are still having, suffering from conditions that the rest of the world have considered, conquered and benign. So we shouldn't be at that place. We should have, we should grow with the rest of the world.
Okay.
Yes.
You intend to come to Nigeria to set up?
I will set up a practice in Nigeria, but more importantly, I will position myself in such a way that we are able to get expertise from the rest of the world available to Nigeria. No need to come there and not be able to practice or not be able to offer good services just because the environment is not conducive, but I will be there and the presence will be felt.
Good. Okay, let's go back to the other side of Regina Askia Williams.
Yes.
The one we know, you're a beauty queen, or you were a beauty queen, you're still beautiful. And then
Didn't you say that I'm still beautiful?
Yeah, you're still beautiful. Okay. And then, of course, you've been an actress. It looks like you're still acting.
Okay.
You're still acting too? Yeah? Are you still acting?
If there is a good script and I'm invited to act, I will act. The problem with that is, when you have the responsibility of people's lives in your hands, that would take precedence over every other thing because, people's lives are critical. So there's really, I can say I'm short for time. Okay. If I had time on my hands, I would definitely try some acting. But that, has had to be put in the cooler for a while because of the responsibilities of, healthcare for a lot of my patients. Yes.
Okay. Now, there's something else I'd like to draw your attention to. That Regina is very involved in something she calls SOUPASTERS. What's the meaning of SOUPASTERS anyway?
Soup. The name implies, the name says it all. Soup. SOUP. Soup are stars. Right.
SOUP are stars.
Yes.
Okay.
SOUPASTERS.
Explain.
Now, SOUPASTERS is the first ever of its kind celebrity cooking competition that is going to feature like 12 celebrities representing 10 teams in Nigeria, each in a cookout battle against the other. Why are we doing this? We're doing this to shed more light on health and nutrition. Like I said before, all the doctors on a Saturday online clinic have pointed to the silver bullet of good health being good nutrition. And Africa sits, as the last bus stop with its virgin forests, like virgin resources, good, great foods that have not been processed nor genetically modified. They are in their natural states, and these are the healthiest choices of food that we could find, right?
Yeah.
Now, you are what you eat. You definitely are what you eat. If everybody could understand the impact of what you put into your body on your system, I think people will think twice before they eat junk, for real. Your food affects you physically and spiritually. Your food affects your stomach linings even. It affects your mood. Everything about you is affected by your food. So it would be good if we could teach people what is available to them in Africa. The recipes available in Africa. What can you eat to heal yourself? How can you cook your food to make sure that it remains healthy? Portion control. How much food can you eat or do you have to eat to stay healthy, right? So Superstar seeks to teach people this healthy nutritional choices, seeks to teach people how to prepare their foods, seeks to teach everybody what is available in Africa, in the different parts of Africa. So we have Team Rivers, led by Ibinabo Fibrisima from Rivers State. They'll be showcasing recipes from Rivers State, fisherman, pepper soup, seafoods, and the rest of them. And then we have Iniedo, the beautiful Iniedo, leading Team Akwa Ibom. They'll be showcasing the vegetable soups. And you know how important green leafy vegetables are to our system, especially when it comes to building blood in our systems and maintaining our vitamin K, which helps our body convert the energy of the sun into building great bones, and our bone marrows manufacture blood. So you see how one thing affects the other. The deficiency of one will have a domino effect on the rest of our health status. Okay, so we have an Idibia leading Team Borno. We have Shegun Arinze and Alex Ekubo showing us that the boys too can cook. They're leading Team Benue. We have Bevista, the fashionista. Bevista is leading Team Bendel Ibo, and the beautiful Mona Lisa is leading Team Imo. We have Angela Okori leading Team Sokoto. Angela Okori is from Ebonyi State, and she's leading Team Sokoto. So we are gathering Nigeria and uniting Nigeria in a pot of soup. We're doing well. So we have Kemen, the bodybuilder from Big Brother, Nigeria, some time back. He's leading Team Bini, and we have the vegan group led by Duchess Nina is leading the vegan group. The vegan group is vegetarian choices of foods. You know, some people prefer vegetarian choice of foods, but don't know how to put it together or don't know how to make it work.
Why did you create this consciousness? What's really the reason behind it? Is it to get Nigerians become aware of the various cuisine
the foods they have, what is available to them? You know that big pharma, big pharmaceutical companies come to Nigeria, come to Africa, get into our virgin forest and find those roots, those herbs that work for, that have medicinal values and work to promote our health. They take it out here, process it, and make it into medications and sell it back to you. What stops you from, knowing what these herbs are? What stops you from knowing what these foods are? And processing and preserving and using them in a way that will be beneficial to our own health, right? Why do other people always have to come in and take what we have, process it, and send it back, and sell it back to us at exorbitant rates, and why do we all have to be pawns in big pharma business lineup, paid huge money to be hospitalized for this surgery and that surgery, when all you could do is to eat well?
Okay.
That's why I'm doing Superstars.
Right. Well, Regina, this is one thing. You set the ball rolling, and we're going to follow up with that, but after the break, because now we can hear some messages. We'll be right back. So what do you hope to become when you grow up?
I want to become a medical doctor.
Wow.
So that my people don't have to travel abroad. I want to become one of the best doctors in the world.
Sometimes when you do things, you don't know the impact it puts in people's life. When the time comes, if God's will, and I become popular, I will fight for the people of Ajegunle.
It's all a question of positiveness. If you believe, it will be.
I love that. I love that.
Sometimes there are people who has paid their dues, you understand, and then people don't acknowledge them, like they don't give them recognition.
Hey, deserve some accolades.
Accolades.
Pay my dues, you know.
Hey, accolades, baby.
Some accolades.
Accolades, baby.
This is Soni Irabor live, and yes, everything is really moving spick and span because I'm with Nigeria's own, now based in the US, married to an American, Regina Askia Williams. And we've been discussing things you will least have expected to hear. She's a medical practitioner, a la nursing, and she's talking about organic foods, the ones that you and I will eat and really be comfortable with. But sometimes some people come here, take our meals, take our herbs, and then go out there, make pharmaceutical products of them, and bring it back to Nigeria to sell to us. Oh boy. Well, Regina, that's what they call the GMOs that you mentioned in the course of your conversation earlier. GMOs, genetically modified organisms, is that what it's called?
Yes.
I'm afraid it is here now. I hear it's moving, but
oh, that would be too sad.
Really?
That would be too sad.
It's not acceptable in the US, is it?
Because we have a big crisis situation on our hands, whereby everywhere you turn around, it's like everybody's catching some kind of cancer. And then people are looking at the GMOs as culprits. I mean, we need to know what we're eating. There is, a school of thought that says that people are trying to make quick profit, and so they inject their animals with hormones so that they can have a quick turnover of massive kilograms of meat to sell, or massive kilograms of poultry to sell. And where are these hormones ending up? They're ending up in our system, and even in the crops, among the crops, we find that they are using weed killers that transfer to us to cause hormonal imbalances and even cancerous situations. There have been many court cases where people are trying to get compensation, but no matter the amount of compensation you have, nothing can replace your life, right? So there is a movement which I am in great support of, a movement for organic food choices, food that come from the soil, food that are alive, foods that have not been genetically modified, which we have in vast quantities in Africa. And this is what we should eat. Now, we have a few chefs that are working with our celebrities. As a matter of fact, please let me take this moment to say a big thank you to our celebrities for recognizing the importance of giving back to the community, recognizing the importance of supporting this great idea to teach people how to stay healthy, to make healthy food choices. They came together to support the chefs that are working with us. The chefs cook every day. The chefs feed people every day. And so they need to have the first-hand knowledge on what to feed people, right? And to have our celebrities come out and support their businesses so that they can continue their good work.
Just before you continue, Regina, before you continue, let me just throw the lines open, because I think we should have at least 10 minutes of talking to you on the phone. So the phones are on the screen, everyone out there. Anyone who's going to call us, Regina Askia Williams from New York is ready to take your calls in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, that is. And believe it or not, you're going to be talking to the star, who is also soon to be a PhD holder in medicine. You know what I mean. Okay, Regina.
Yes.
Do you think, honestly, that we can succeed in the fight against GMOs?
Now, you see, money talks, right? And every other thing falls in line, But then, when you see a situation where there is a vast array of resources and there is a lot of money to be made from it, so many people, so many stakeholders are about to jump in and take quarters of that for themselves, which has been the story in Africa. So this is the point. This is the time in our existence as a nation to stand up and defend what we have, which is a vast array of virgin forest, healing leaves, natural foods, and all. This is a time to educate ourselves on the resources we have in terms of healing herbs and the medicinal values of our herbs and leaves. This is a time to find those things, preserve those things, and sell it to the world or share it with the world. We should not allow people to jump in here, mess it up, mix it, and make it become something else that is not beneficial to us. If we listen to money, if we sell our souls to money, at the end of the day, Big Pharma will win again, because we'll all end up unhealthy and sick and have to be checking into hospital, which is why Superstars is critical at this point in time.
Yeah, but there's something really difficult in what you just said. If you listen to money, who's not going to listen to money? Who is not going to listen to money? Tell me. Is it a time and place where you cannot pay minimum wages, or what?
Yes, but then you see, which is why it's important to have a reorientation of our minds that life is more valuable than money. We cannot sacrifice our future. We cannot sacrifice our children on the altar of money. And let me say something. If we don't keep ourselves healthy, if we don't keep our brains functioning right, we're not going to be able to think straight and think good, workable solutions out of a problem like this, right? And believe it or not, we must get our house in order in terms of recognizing what we have, monetizing what we have in a way that will benefit our communities first before it goes outside. If we do not get our house in order, other people are waiting to do it for us.
Okay. All right. Is Nollywood still alive in your heart?
Is Nollywood what?
Still alive in your heart.
Oh, Nollywood will always be alive in my heart. Always, This is what gave me a platform to fly. This is what gave me visibility. This is what gave me celebrity. And this is why I am giving back, as much as I can give back. Big Rudy trying to call me. Please text him and tell him I'm on TV. Thank you. So I'm trying to give back as much as I can possibly give back. Nollywood will always be in my heart, yes.
Okay. Regina, Lagos is agog with good things,
Yes.
This is where we talk about talents and all of that. But there's also a problem. And I'm not just saying Lagos because it's Lagos, but Lagos is the focal point because the heartbeat of Nigeria. Well, that's a good
As a matter of fact, heartbeat of Africa, yes.
Yeah, okay, of Africa. But Lagos is 22 million strong or thereabouts.
Yes.
Now, the rest of the world is seeing that Lagos is leading the pack, but we have a call. Let me take the call. Hello, good evening.
Yes.
Hello. Hi. Good evening. Hello. Okay. Right. So.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, you're still there. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. What's your name, please? Go ahead.
My name is Toyin.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ogba.
Go ahead, please. Yes. Go ahead.
Good. There's a feedback to I can hear my voice talking. Anyway,
okay. Just go ahead.
My concern is that Ms. Williams spoke about having physicians and doctors and nurses and all of them coming back home to practice medicine and give back to our community.
Yeah.
The problem in Nigeria is this, that we don't have an enabling environment to practice.
That's exactly what we said.
Yeah, go on. Caller, you can go ahead. It may have frozen, but she mentioned something that is of concern to her.
Yes.
The right environment
she
to
mentioned
practice.
that we don't have a good environment of practice in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And as such, if the physicians come back home, what they're going to work with, there's no point everybody coming to sit around and getting nothing done when there's not, nothing to work with.
Why don't you create a dialogue between your representatives, the group you are going to find yourself representing, and the government?
Yes. This is what I'm saying. So we have to find workable solutions. We have to find ways to use the expertise out here and make it available to patients needing it in Nigeria. So the the number one answer to that is telehealth, like we discussed.
Yeah.
So we can have these doctor services available through telehealth computerization, and everybody who has a cell phone can log into that app and ask a question and talk about their symptoms and get a diagnosis and a prescription. But if these conditions are grave, if we notice something serious, we could refer you to a hospital that is affiliated with that program, and then you go there and get secondary or advanced services for your condition. Yes, this is what I'm talking about when I say that it is high time we make health service expertise available to patients in Nigeria.
Okay, I was talking about Lagos earlier. Lagos 22 million strong.
22 million strong, yes.
Okay, I'm told that there's so much time gone that we cannot say too much. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that Lagos is gifted with a lot of people, and they're all Nigerians, and everything good is coming out of here. However, the Lagos that we're enjoying is not like the New York you're enjoying. A lot of things are happening over there. So how can we see a symbiotic relationship where Nigerians who are professionals in the US really have enough boldness to come to Nigeria, especially Lagos, and do things in a way that can carry us through?
We have to thank God for technology. And
but by the way, you have 1 minute. You have 1 minute to answer that.
Data management that makes the technology available to all of us.
Yeah.
Because the internet has opened doors for Africa. Look at how Davido appears on BET and appears on TV out here. I come back from work and I put on the TV and I'm watching Davido, I'm watching Tiwa Savage, I'm watching Yemi Alade. This is big. This is great. And they're Nigerians, And when they say, "Oh, where are you from?" I say, "I'm Nigerian." Oh my goodness, I feel so cool about that. It's beautiful. So the world is actually opening up and accepting of Lagos. You think that nothing is moving there, but it is moving. You guys are really making big waves out here. Now, what I want to see is a situation where the waves you're making is beneficial to Lagos and the inhabitants of Lagos, right? Mm-hmm. Not that you make these waves and other people jump on the bandwagon and use this wave to their own promotions, their own betterment, and then the people back home suffer. It is high time we found those ways that we can promote ourselves or share expertise in such a way that we all benefit, right?
Right.
This is why I said if we don't put our home in order, other people will put it in order for us. Look, people will come and take musicians from Africa and then use them for whatever. Is the money coming back here?
Okay,
no.
Regina,
Most
that's where I
money,
must stop you. My controller is saying, you got to stop. Yes, I got to stop. But you see, Regina, we're going to come back to you, honestly, another Sunday. Yes. Because this has been a beautiful one.
And I'm waiting because I want to talk about my chefs. They have great, important information that everybody needs to hear. Okay. So thank you for having me on your show. And I look forward to this opportunity again in the not too distant future where we can really talk about superstars and invite everybody to come to our program at the Grand Atrium on the 6th of December 2019 to watch our celebrities cook out a storm. I'm waiting to receive you on Superstars. Thank you.
You're going to present Soni Irabor live the next time you come on because you're even a better host than myself. So we've had Regina Askia Williams, who is an actress and a nurse, a practicing nurse, and soon to be a PhD holder. Well, I'm very proud to see all of these things. We're proud of you, Regina. Just keep it alive.
Thank you so much.
And stay
I miss
good,
you all, and I can't wait to see you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now. So it's been Soni Irabor Live, and this is how we end it tonight. Thank you again, and good night.